NBA 2K18 tutorial number 62, and also my first full gameplay of the year. So this is full gameplay number 1. Now this video will act as the conclusion to my domination tutorials that I've been focused on recently because a lot of you asked me to do them. You can watch the full gameplay here today and listen to actually my thoughts and concepts on the systems on offense and defense. At the same time, also I would like to talk about the channel and also the channel and the content going forward to 2018 because it's almost the end of the year. So you can check out this gameplay. Here I am the white jerseys and we're facing the all-time Hawks in all-time domination. So first of all, first things first, shout out to Reese's Christ. He's actually the account I've been using. He's a subscriber because you guys know I don't really play that much domination in my account, so I was really far behind. So for me to get to all-time, it would have taken me forever. But the subscriber Reese's Christ, he lent me the account, so I was able to show you guys all these gameplay recently. I'm actually almost finished in all-time domination, so I might show more down the line. But for now, this will probably be the end of it because this is the final tutorial I'm showing. So obviously all along that I've been doing these all-time domination tutorials, it's been his team. So this is like his squad and like what he liked to do. Like I didn't buy any players for him, so I just took what his squad had and I built systems out of it. So it's not really as custom as I prefer it to be, but obviously it still works. Like, because talking about this team on its own, there's not a lot of ball, creators. I've always found that on my team, classic players are not very good because they don't have the best animations, nor do they have the best tendency. Those are very small things, but they do add up, especially for my kind of style of play. Modern day players are just better because of the animations and of their tendencies. 2K always does a better job on modern players because they work on them for the game. Classic players sometimes they behave weird and they move weird and they have really bad dribble moves because that's just what happens to classic players, so I don't prefer it. Yeah, but like I said, most of the squad that you do see recently that I've been using for all-time domination are all mostly classic players. So initially it was a huge struggle for me, but I did make it work, and this obviously does work, as you will see me blow out every all-time domination team there is. I'll probably show you guys the 3 hardest one by the end of maybe next week as I get there. I'm actually only 4 games away from finishing all-time domination for good. So I will be showing you guys those down the line, but not this week. This week I want to talk about other things. I want to show some Supermax and also some play now online with all these schemes. I want to do online footage this week because I've been doing a lot of offline domination. It's kind of boring me out. But you can see in the full gameplays obviously is I make mistakes just as everybody do. But if you can see from the full gameplay itself, I gamble initially a lot for steals just to see if I can get some easy steals for MT, because you have to remember, right, I'm not playing to win. Because I'm guaranteed to win. There's no chance of all-time domination beating me. But it's about getting, I think in this game, maybe over 830 MT or something like that. It's about getting the MT requirement. So I play in a, actually I consider I play in a very different way than I do normally in terms of just trying to get steals and stuff like that. I don't play a very conservative defense like I normally do. Like I gamble a lot more than I do normally. But on offense, this is what I do. So like offense is very similar to what I do normally. I probably try to get more assists than usual though doing this, because when I'm trying to compete online or even offline, when I'm just trying to win, I just want to score. I don't care if I get an assist or not. If I get a dunk, I'm gonna dunk it. But on all-time domination, you guys know assisted baskets are worth way more MT, so you can actually see me force a lot of passes that I normally wouldn't force, and I actually try to attack in more of a pass and team oriented style, even more so than I do normally. So there's merit in that actually, because if you watch the way I try to attack with these systems, it's a very pass friendly, it's actually very team oriented basketball. Also the subscribers team, like his team here, they don't have he doesn't have a lot of just superstar that can take over a game by just dunking and driving it in there. Later though, he did, because he picked up a Ruby LeBron James for my team card, and the entire system, actually what you see here, went to an entire different level because of the fact that Ruby LeBron James are on. If you guys want to see the Ruby LeBron James gameplay and the tutorials, you can let me know. I will probably use that for Supermax, so maybe when I mix the Supermax tutorials and the Supermax gameplays, you will actually definitely see Ruby LeBron James being added to this team and also overtaking this team-oriented system and just making it a freaking LeBron James system, because that's what LeBron does. And in terms of the defense, you can see just like it's pretty nice. Like that steal was pretty nice. Good settings. The settings of this, all of the settings for this game will be at the end of the video. I will have the gameplay setting, defensive settings, and all that, because you guys always ask me. I do try to keep those in most of the tutorial, so just go to the end if you want to see those. And in terms of the channel, I think today is like what, December 12th or 11th over here. Anyhow, last year I probably stopped making videos for good after December 14th because 2K17 is bad. I know that was hard for you guys because I wasn't around like after that at all. And it was hard for me too because that game was so bad. That's a nice pass. That's very good basketball right there. Very proud of that. Anyhow, I don't think the same thing would happen this year. I'll probably start making less tutorials because I'm usually very busy at the beginning of the new year with work and everything. But I do want to keep this channel going over time. I don't know how much longer I can do this for though, because you guys know this is more of a hobby for me than anything. Like, I'm not getting 100,000 views. Heck, I don't even get 10,000 views of these. Like, I'm not doing really for the money. It's more of an improvement thing, but eventually I would probably have to stop for good because, you know, I'm older, more responsibilities, so I'm trying to make this as profitable as I can to be responsible, because I can't be playing games all day and not, you know, making money. That's not good for someone. So, well, if I was young, when I was younger, it was totally fine, but I'm a lot older now, so I gotta be responsible. So I would try what I can. I'll probably still make two or three videos a day, but I'll probably start slowing down again because just start of the year is not very good for me. Like I got a lot of work to do, but I'll still be around. I wouldn't be gone completely like last year because the game was just so bad. I think you guys know. Like, if you ask me honestly, 2K18 is like probably the best 2K in 5 years. Like, this is relative terms, okay? I'm not saying it's the best video games in 5 years because plenty of other good games out there, but I'm just saying when you compare the past 5 2Ks amongst itself, this is definitely the way better one by a mile, by a long shot. Like, it's not even close. Like, if I can make this many tutorials on it, oh, there's a slip. So it's a good game. I'll try to keep going. Hopefully you guys can keep supporting the channel so I can stay doing this for as long as I can without being irresponsible about it in real life, I guess. But I always appreciate you guys' support though. Thank you. The other day, actually, some guy donated me like $5 on YouTube. I didn't know you can do that. I found out someone donated me money on YouTube. I was very happy. Good motivation. So I appreciate that. Thanks for your support. I don't know who donated it. For the guy that donated, actually, I should thank you. Sorry I didn't thank you earlier. But yeah, I'm just gonna thank you now for that $5 donation on YouTube. I didn't even know you can donate money on YouTube. I thought it was just a Twitch thing. But anyhow, you can see in this game, like, I am pulling away 23-11. But a lot of you know, like, that's probably still not enough for MT. So try to get as many assists as basket as you can. That's what I try to do. I play to win with a little bit focus on trying to get as much MT as possible, but it's not the end all and be all. Like, I do change the way I attack and defend and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to win by 30, because usually if I win by 20 or 30, I get enough MT even without free throws. Like, I don't play to get free throws. Like, I don't care about the free throws because I don't even know how I can get 10 free throws without playing in a way that's actually detrimental to the offense. Like, I would rather just try to get as many assists and stop them from scoring as much as I can and beat them by 20 to 30. And then if I beat them by 20 or 30, it's usually enough MT, so that's what I go. Like, at the end of this game, I think I was way above. I think I had close to 11. I made 1100 MT in this game, and I had no free throws. Like, I mean, I didn't reach the free throw requirement. I'm sure maybe I had 3 or 4, but I did not have 10, and I still ended up with like 1150 MT or something. So my suggestion to you is just try to win and win by a lot. So play two-way basketball. That's what I try to do. Obviously increase the pace, like you see, non-stop. But you can see I think I caught quite a bit of sets here and there, but they were guarding the pick and roll wrong. Like, that's why I preach to you guys that you should still run a lot of freelance pick and rolls, because eventually if you do those well enough, they start hard hedging, and you guys know if they hard hedge, you slip, or you try to force that double team and you kick it to the roller in the paint, is easy points. Like, it's just, if they hard hedge in 2K, is over. You will get paint points, and those paint points are not just like an easy dunk. It's a rolling paint point. So you're gonna get an assist and a dunk very quickly. So those are the best. I think, see, they're hard hedging there, and that's an easy flush. Like, I just flush Hayward in there and I get a dunk. That's why you don't want to just call sets non-stop, because if you call sets non-stop and you don't run any freelance pick and rolls, they would never really do that hard hedge adjustment. At the same time, sets don't work all the time, and you don't get a lot of the rolling action from the sets. So mix it up, sets and freelance, like usually what I like to do here. And defense is just all right stick and all right stick, and try to get some steals, because I'm just, oh, that's nice defense. Like, I just try to get the steal for the MT sake. Normally I don't even reach when I play for real, like, because I know reaching doesn't work. It's just, it's not worth the gamble. But here, different story, right? Because I want transition points, I want fast break points, I want turnovers. But for those of you who are still struggling with all-time domination, even after watching all these tutorials, I guess the last way I can help you is the same way I help Reese's here. Like, if you're on PS4, I don't mind if you, like, go to, add me on Twitter at 720. I can hop on your account and, you know, get past the game for you, play a couple of games for you. I'll make a tutorial for you with your squad, because this turned out to be a lot easier for Reese's afterwards, because, like, this is his squad. So, and I made so many tutorials on it, specifically on his squad. All he had to do is adapt to these, and he's definitely gonna crush all-time domination. Maybe not to the same extent that I do it, but it would be enough. Like, he would reach the MT limit for sure, because the systems do work. That's the thing about my team too, actually, because you can't just put the best players together and hope something happens. Like, you actually gotta put the players that complement each other and make it all work. Because I actually figured out in my team, if you have players with enough stamina, you actually only need an 8-man rotation. Like, if you have an 8-man rotation, you can play the whole game with that 8-man rotation and you will have no stamina problems, as long as you call all of your own timeouts. Like, you don't even need the other guy to call his timeouts. You just need to call all of your own at the right times. With an 8-man rotation, you can finish the whole game. So that's actually something I will show you guys in detail when I do the Supermax videos, because Supermax has the cap limit, and I can actually keep it. And if you only need to run 8 players, you can actually make those 8 players pretty good, and you don't have to share the cap a lot, because everybody else can just be bronze guys, and then you actually have a competitive advantage there. Because if you rotate it correctly, and you have the right guys to do it, because if you have 8 guys rotating, you need guys that can play multiple positions. You need at least 4 or 3 guys that can play multiple positions, and then you'll actually be able to rotate just 8 guys, keep your cap to all those 8 guys, and you will be just fine. I actually do something similar here, but because this has no cap limit on all-time domination, so I think I ran a rotation of 9 guys. But 8 guys is actually totally okay. Ooh, nice reverse layup by Jojo there. So we're about to finish the half soon, and I'm actually up by 20 here. So by my measure, that's actually pretty good, because like I said, I try to win by 20 or 30. 30 is usually enough, and you can see the percentages are completely lopsided. Close to 90% for me, 37% for them, and I have 15 assists. So that's really good, because by the halftime point, if you can get to around, by my experience, you want to get to at least 10 assists. Anything above 10, you're doing really well. But if you can get to 10 assists, you can probably also finish the game by the end without free throws and get enough MT for it. That's my experience. So what else? Another thing I want to talk about is we are on tutorial 62. So there has been, oh my lord, there has been 62 of these, and I don't know how many of you have seen all of them. But if you've seen all of them, let me know in the comment section that you have. I'm just curious. But if you haven't, that's totally okay. Like, I mean, 62 tutorials. Like I suggest you watch them, but like, I don't know if you have time to watch that many of them. But some are better than others. Some are, they're all really good combined together, but obviously some money plays that are just so good that you have to watch it. So I would personally suggest watch 28 and 50 for sure. 57, 39, 33, 29, 13, 10, definitely 10. And watch all the pace motion cut tutorials, whatever those, I think those are 40 something. The pace motion cut tutorials is actually very important, because, oh, here I begin to have, I think, 4 turnovers in a row, so that was ugly. You can enjoy those on the gameplay, I mean. But yes, adapt to the pace motion cuts freelance. It's actually a lot better than the Warriors motion cuts, because of the quick post-up option. But the thing I want to mention about the quick post-up option is when you're trying to trigger that quick post-up option in pace motion cuts, sometimes a few of you might not see the exact same spacing that I have. I think most of you will, but sometimes you wouldn't, because if you have a player on your team, either a guard or a point guard or a power forward that gets that quick post-up option, it actually messes up the spacing. I found out because I was using the Reese's team, because I always only have the center that can post. But for that quick post-up spacing for pace motion cuts to trigger correctly, you can only have one big man that wants to post. Like if you have any guards or forwards alongside a center who likes to post, like if you have two guys on the court that prefer to post and you call that quick post-up, it messes up the spacing. That spacing only works to the way you want it to if you have your center, only your center, that wants to post, because even if you have a stretch big that likes to post, it also messes it up. So that's something for you, all of you, to keep your mind on, because you need to have only one center that can post to run that quick post-up spacing in pace motion. But obviously not really a problem, because you can just that's for swiping it and turn using the touchpad, right? Because if you specifically call it for a guy, like if you tap left on the D-pad and just select the player and then the button for the post-up, you get the same spacing. So that's the counter to it. So it's not the end of the world, but just something small that I want to tell you guys. Because you can see from the gameplay, like the way I play, it's not like I call a set and it works, or if I call a pick and roll and it works. Do they work a lot of the time? Yeah, but sometimes they don't work. So when I'm attacking, I'm actually probing. I don't really do one thing and hope something happens, and if it doesn't happen, I don't panic. I just probe and probe and probe. And I just try to find open shots by non-stop probing the defense. I try to probe them. This sounds weird, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. I try to probe them at a rate maybe about 3 times per possession, because I know if a defense don't break after I probe them 3 times, like they're doing a good job. And when that happens, I just try to go to my isolation moves. So I've showed you guys a few isolation moves, like the rhythm dribble to the blow by, and the double tap square to the spin, or the step back jumper. Those are my isos moves, and I always go to those after I probe a defense 2 to 3 times and it doesn't yield anything. I just go ISO and try to hit them with my ISO moves and get an open shot, because at the end of the day, all I really want is an open shot. I don't care where I get it from. Well, ideally I want a open paint shot, open corner free, open wing free, open mid-range. That's the order of it. Like the least desirable thing for me is an open mid-range, but at the end of the day, when I take an open mid-range, yeah, you bet I would. So if I probe the defense with my sets and the freelance attacks and they don't break after 2 to 3 times, I would go complete isolation and see if I can get an open shot in a desirable area. But mostly when I do go ISO shot, I know the best case scenario for me to get is obviously driving into the paint for free. Or if that doesn't happen, I would get an open mid-range shot. So that's the least desirable option of everything, but I would still take it if the defense don't yield. Now, but because of the set and the freelance, they're so good and so efficient, normally I wouldn't have to result into going into isolation like that. Not a lot of the time, I don't have to do that. But when I do, that's what I do. And it rarely happens. I think it happens maybe 1 out of every 15 possessions. So if you are trying to get good at 2K, you will have to ask yourself, I'm running Sam's sets, I'm running Sam's freelance. Am I going at a rate where like I get good clean looks out of them? Like every 15 times I run it, maybe I get clean looks at least 10 times, like 2/3 of the time. Because you can see in this full gameplay, I'm probably getting clean looks probably 2/3 of the time. The other 1/3, I'm getting these messy looks that I either miss, or I make a tough shot, or I take an open shot at least desirable spot. I think by the end of this, I shot around 75% or something like that, but I had way too many turnovers than I prefer in this game. But I was trying to force assists, so that's why the turnovers are happening, because I want assisted baskets for the MT. I did pretty bad in this 3rd quarter, but because I did good work in the first 2 quarters, I was able to balance it out. The 4th quarter that's coming up, I remember, I got really, really hot, so I dominated them in this 4th quarter. You can check that out yourself. I've been speaking for about 20 minutes, so I think that's the end for me. But you guys can check out this last quarter gameplay on its own, so I'm just going to leave it on here and you guys can watch it. There will also be defensive settings and gameplay settings at the end, just for your reference, so you can see what I use for defense here and what I use for gameplay settings and sort of coach settings and all that good stuff. I think I actually left the box score and the short chart and the team comparison and the MT final and all of that too. So this is the last all-time domination tutorial for now. If you still got questions about it, you can ask me. And if you got any system questions, this is what I run against. I run the same thing against humans, but maybe more variety. I will be doing a lot of online gameplays this week, so you can see how this goes against humans. It's the same thing, because like, honestly, a human is just one guy controlling 4 CPU defenders. I mean, controlling one guy while still having 4 CPU defenders, so it breaks the same way. But I just can't spam plays as much. Sometimes computer plays way better than humans, because computers is cheese. Like did they make this? Okay, sometimes they make those, so that's cheese. But as always, thanks for coming by. Check out the online tutorials and some new schemes that are coming this week. As always, thanks for your support. Hopefully I can keep doing this and not end up quitting for a long time like last year again. So, but yeah, thanks for coming by. And hey, team comparison. I think I was just checking that to see if I'm going on the right path to enough MT, because I'm up about 18 points. It's not 20 like I want, or 30. So then I was just checking to see if I was good. But I think I was good because I have so many assists in this game. Good inbound steal by me there. But yes, as always, thanks for coming. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay and the settings if you want to stay and check those out. And yeah, I'll see all of you next time.